Okay, so I tell all these bad stories. Let me tell a good story. I was at work when I just got to work one night, and my buddies had a crotch rocket, and he worked right behind me, and he was a really, really sweet guy, and I trusted him. And he's like, "You want to ride?" I was like, "I got time before I start work. Let's go." He took me for a ride. It's like, "Don't kill me on this bitch." That was my words before I got on it. He was laughing because we worked at a truck stop. So he took me for a ride. He brought me back. I looked at him. I said, "That was so messed up of you." And he looked at me like, "What?" And I was like, "Dude, you got a girlfriend." He said, "Yep." I said, "But my buddy's at your job right now. Go tell him he needs to go to work." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I'm not going into work. I'm calling out sick." He's like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yep, you need to go tell him don't clock in. He needs to go home. He's sick." I said, "He needs to get hold of me now." And I wasn't playing. So he went and told him. And he met me on the dirt road behind our job. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" He's like, "Why am I sick?" I was like, I just rode a bike for the first time in a few years." I was like, "Do you know how much power was in that bike between my legs?" And he started laughing because he knows me. Like, I was very much myself around him. I didn't have to be anybody else. So he had already been messing with me for a while. So he got to know me. Like, I didn't have to sugarcoat it and none of that shit. He's like, "You just wanted some of mine." Yep, sure did. He's like, "Well, I guess you're a good enough reason to get off work for." And I started laughing. And he's like, "No, for real, you're a good enough reason to get out of work for." I was like, "Cool, because it's on." I swear we did it for like 6 hours in his car. All because of a bike ride. And I'm not even mad. It was one of the best moments I had with him. Now, we never actually dated. We just fooled around. Because one of his best friends was in love with me. And I couldn't date him either. He was good to me, but we tried. He tried for 6 months. We tried dating for 6 months. And we went to do it, and there was no satisfaction there. And I had to tell him that to his face. And that was kind of rough because I seen how much he loved me. And he was very much in love with me. And that still hurts me that I had to be like that with him. Because he would have gave me the world. And I had to turn him down. So I did get opportunities here and there for good men. But you can't have one thing without the rest too. Now, his friend was decent, but he wasn't my type for long term. Never will be. I've seen him a few times since then. And no, he picked the right girl when he picked. We had a good time. I did get attached a little bit, but no, he picked the right girl. Hell no. We went different roads. And our paths crossed a couple times, and I'm glad we went different roads. Every time our paths crossed. That's some junk, ain't it? But my recent ex got a bike. And I didn't trust his driving in a car. So he asked me one day, he's like, "Will you ride?" He's like, "Get on the bike with me. Ride to the store with me." I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, fine." And I was like, at first I was like, no. And he's like, "If you don't get on the bike with me, you're going to piss me off." And I was like, "I don't want to argue tonight. Fine, I'll get on the bike." No lie. I've been on Harley since I was maybe 2. I mean, as soon as they could strap me to that Harley some way, somehow, I was on a Harley. My mom's ex, that was his bike. And I was on it often. He treated me different because I was the only girl in the family. Like, he had a son, mom had a son, and then I was the little girl. So he treated me totally different. But he also seen how my parents treated me. I'll give him that. He may have been horrible to my mom, but he wasn't horrible to me. He was strict, but he wasn't horrible with me. Anyways, I rode a Harley every day to school. Because if I rode in the car, all my clothes came off of my shoes, and they went out the window on the way to school. Because I didn't want to go to school. But if I rode the Harley, I couldn't get naked on the way to school. So he took me to school on his Harley every day. But I've been on bikes since, I was like 2. And I've been on plenty since then, don't get me wrong. I'm picky about who I ride with, don't get me wrong, because a lot of people can't drive them. They'll say they can. You watch them run around the parking lot and you're like, hell no. You ain't driving my ass around. I already see you. Or you watching right down the road one time, you're like, nah, you already dogging it out when I'm watching you. What you gonna do when I'm on there? And a lot of them don't know how to ride with another person on the back. I just posted a video on Facebook about that. Somebody was saying, you know, you can ride however you want by yourself, but you shouldn't be riding that way with somebody on your back. And I'll agree with that. You should have certain, you know, standards of how you drive your bike with somebody on the back of it. Because you are responsible for that person that's on the back of that bike with you. So I'm very picky about whose bike I get on because a lot of people don't think that way. Well, I rode a few and I've, you know, had a good time. But that last time I rode a bike, which I wanted to ride this summer, but I haven't asked anybody to ride. I just kind of kept it to myself that I didn't, you know. Just because I don't want inconvenience anybody by asking them to ride their bike with them. And nobody's offered, so I just kind of kept to myself. But he rode me down the road. It might be 2 miles to the dollar store and 2 miles back. And when I say I clenched my legs so tight around him, my feet were on the pegs, don't get me wrong, but my legs were clenched so good. I swear I could have gave myself a cramp and it wouldn't have been as tight as my legs were around him. Both ways, there and back. I got off the bike, smoked a cigarette while he walked in the store, came back out, he got mad because I didn't go in. And we got back to the house. I smoked another cigarette. And he's like, why are you smoking like that? I was like, I don't trust you on a bike. He's like, you know, you messed me up doing that. I was like, he's like, a lot of girls be jumping on the back of my bike. I was like, I'm not a lot of girls, obviously. I was like, I rode with you in a car. You fall asleep as soon as you get past the side seat, and I start driving down the road. I was like, I can't stand riding with you driving, because you'll complain about my driving, but get mad at me when I complain about yours. And then you want to control me on a two-wheeler? Yeah, you just about gave me a heart attack. And he's like, why are you like that? I was like, because you don't drive safe with me. You don't put me in consideration when I'm on something with you. You don't, you know, he did dog it out twice, which showed me how much he considerated me. Because my biggest rule is, hey, take it easy on it right now because I'm not used to your driving. And I would unclench if he went to dog it out. But he had to rev it up. Because it's his toy. And that's more important than me being comfortable. So that just showed me where I stood. And that's the difference. That's why I couldn't unclench. And no, if you asked me to get back on his bike, that's the only way I had to go, I'd probably tell you, fuck yourself. Yeah. I'd rather walk. Straight up. So, there's that. And I liked bikes my whole life. Like, I have asked strangers to ride their bikes. Yeah, and then I got smart and started watching how some of them drive. And I'm like, nope, not no more. But I mean, my stepdad had a crotch rocket when he married my mother. So, yeah, we biker girls. My mother was with a biker. He was a member of a bike club. And his biggest rule for me was, don't ever date a guy part of the bike club. Well, I never have. And I may break that rule one day, but I ain't broke it yet. So if he hears my videos, he'll be proud of me because I made 40 without dating one. I've had a lot of opportunities, but I ain't dated none yet. And I've been around a lot of bikers and a lot of bikers in bike clubs, and I have not dated one yet. That was why supposedly my ex left me, was because I told him he couldn't go be part of a bike club unless we were married. I wouldn't date him because I know the standard for a girlfriend for most bike clubs. And yes, that is most bike clubs, not all. I know. But I know the standards. And I've also seen couples drug girls so they could take advantage of those girls that are bikers. So, yeah. And I've also seen really respectful couples. Very respectful couples. And those people right there, I'll be around. But the ones that like the drug, no. And normally when I'm in a bike club, I normally have somebody who I trust with me because I'm picky, or I'm sitting against a wall watching everything around me, and I will not drink. Yeah, he raised me right on that one. He taught me right on that one. Thank you for that. I'll never forget that.